Let's welcome in the first wave of panelists. We still have one more panel member off to the side, but we got good energy in here this morning. Just our pre-show talk. I felt pepped. We'll see if we can keep that going. Tyler Evans right here. Will West right here. We often don't put the two of you together, so it's just like the radio show, except only people can see you. Thanks for 99.1 The Sports Animal. You can hear Monday through Friday. Paige Dower, people see you at Full Disclosure Productions on YouTube. You and Jimmy Heins are there. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Bob Hodge, people see you, well, anyway.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Hanging out. Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot. Yeah. Bob, thanks for being here, man. All right. Tennessee held their first scrimmage of the fall yesterday. And we'll start with the quarterbacks. That's what everybody else is talking about. And all three quarterbacks continue to get reps. You've probably read or heard by now that George McIntyre, the third-string true freshman, had a good day throwing to second- and third-string receivers. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about two guys being out, when you're saying second- and third-team receivers, you're talking walk-ons down the end of that thing. Joey Aguilar threw a pick six to a walk-on, Chris Brazel's brother. No one can see anything. Jake Merklinger, reportedly, not a good day. No one can see anything, basically. They run everybody out of there. So it's all a lot of people talking to people, getting their sources, and then everybody just rehashes the same stuff they heard from everybody else. If we say something that UT disagrees with, it's easy, open up your scrimmages, and we'll be more correct with what you want out there. But going by what we're hearing, going by our sources, is it a concern that you are now 2 weeks into camp? You brought in a guy, you paid a guy to come in here. I think even though Jake Merklinger has taken the first snaps in practice, I think a lot of that has been show. I think they expected Joey Aguilar to take this job and run with it. Joey Aguilar has not taken this job and run with it. Tyler Evans, is it a concern that Josh Heupel said yesterday after the scrimmage, I see no need to change the way we're doing reps going forward? In other words, no one stepped up yesterday. They're still splitting those reps. So is that a good thing that, hey, these guys are all so good, no one can pull away? Or is it a bad thing that you don't have anybody that's grabbed this job yet?
We're 20 days away until they head to Atlanta, and nobody has taken this job, run with it, put it in a lockbox, and walked away from the bank. Very concerning. It's very concerning. Now, at the same time, I don't think that any competition that plays out during scrimmages or the Monday through Fridays that happen on camp are going to keep from the fact that Joey Aguilar will be your starting quarterback against Syracuse and Atlanta. It is concerning that he's out there throwing pick sixes. We're now starting to see, yet again, this man not yet 100 days on campus for the University of Tennessee, being able to grasp, run tempo, and get on the same page with the rest of his players, the teammates who are or not on the field. It's very concerning at this point in time. Am I hitting a big red button, jamming it with a panic? Not yet, but first scrimmage, it's a telltale sign of where Tennessee's quarterback is.
Well, you've only got one more scrimmage. Mm-hmm. I mean, they basically do a kind of a run-through thing for their last one. So You've got one more scrimmage to go. All right, Will, is this a concern? How concerned are you that Joey Aguilar hasn't taken this job?
Not very. I mean, my entire career, the first scrimmage, the offense is terrible and the defense just smokes them. That's just kind of the way that this goes. I would like to have seen him grab a hold of it. It's a bad thing overall that no one has grabbed this job. But at the same time, it's like an ingrown hair bad thing. It's not like a gaping wound bad thing. So it's going to be fine. There's still plenty of time for you to figure this out. Now, if you get to Syracuse and you're playing two quarterbacks,
oh, hang on. You jumped ahead.
Smash the panic button. Okay. But I still think you have 3 weeks to get there. This guy's new, and every first scrimmage my entire career, the offense was terrible. So why wouldn't the offense be terrible here?
Second question.
John does not like when you get ahead of things. I have learned that. But I think when we look at the quarterback competition and there's so much injury across the offensive side as a whole, so you're not even throwing to your number one receivers, your number two receivers. Mike Matthews was kind of involved in the scrimmage yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe why when you hear these things like, oh, Aguilar threw this interception. I'm like, okay, well, who was his intended target? Who was on the line protecting him? There's so many other things that go into it. And maybe because you hear that he threw the interception and not like the DB made a good play, maybe you have to read between the lines. But I also think when you're in practice too, you also have to look and read between the lines. Like maybe while people want McIntyre to be that number one, he doesn't look as strong as the other two. And then maybe you want it to be Merklinger because he has a better grasp of the system. But I think Aguilar is probably the strongest. Give him another 8 days and maybe he'll look different. But I think it's still a two-man race. I don't think it's a three-man
race yet? Okay. Bob Hodge. No panic, no panic, no panic.
Oh,
I can always count on you.
Right place for
Moderate panic.
I think it absolutely stinks that Aguilar has not been very good so far. Mm-hmm. Now, Some people in UCLA said UCLA was happy to get rid of him because he stunk in UCLA. The kid threw 14 interceptions last year. Tennessee quarterbacks don't throw 14 interceptions under Heupel for a decade. Hadn't been here a decade, but that's the way the numbers are working. So all the positivity that he's going to get it, no, you're talking about a senior. You're talking about an old guy by college football standards, and he can't dump on Merklinger, who everybody except one person I heard of said he's looked terrible, and a freshman. I think you've got a real problem. And you can sit there and say, oh, the defense is always ahead, but you're talking about a quarterback who had a history of throwing interceptions at Appalachian State, throwing interceptions in practice.
To a walk-on.
And
wasn't Jermod McCoy who picked him off.
You know, and wherever this team ends up, if you're sitting there chunking up interceptions, okay, that's going to cost you a game or two somewhere down the road. Because last year you won a lot because you weren't not chunking up.
You know what the concern for me is that you're wasting reps trying to act like this is a competition.
There you go.
It's Joey Aguilar's job. Hand him the job, get him as
Talk
good
to
as
him.
you physically can be.
I talked to somebody.
Not that the others.
We're going to get there.
But the other guys do too. And if they stink worse,
Not
why
from what
aren't
I'm
you giving this guy as many first
we're
team
going to
reps
play.
as you
We're
give him
going to
the guy?
Not
we're
from
going
what
to
I'm
play a
hearing.
bunch of stink.
Yeah.
But okay, he stinks a little bit
He stinks less, so
because
try to
he's
get him
new.
to stink as little as possible.
If I've got guys that are going to stink, I'll go with the young guy because maybe I can develop him. Because this time next year, Joey Aguilar is probably some camp arm in the NFL or the CFL or something like that.
Yeah.
So
See,
I'm
and
sorry.
let me just say, we're all animated over this, and this is why I think it's stupid that they don't let the media see their scrimmages and their practices. We're talking about what we've heard from people.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
And that, now, before you say, yeah, that's what you're doing, so's everybody else. That's
Yeah.
that's what we're forced to do because UT has to. Oh wait, don't say anything. Don't let them know anything. Wait, did you show somebody in a red jersey? Blur the video and turn that into a Zapruder film. So I do feel a little out of place here, and it bugs me that we're having to debate this like we watched it, and that everybody, you're here at radio, wherever you're going, everybody's talking like they watched it. Nobody watched it. They keep you out. And I think it leads to misinformation, and that's their fault, and it leads to panic.
Well, that's why I was
Now,
like, did he throw the interception? Did the DB make a good
well,
play?
all
He
we
was
can go
there,
by
so
it
it's
was
all
a pick
speculation.
six. All we can say is a pick six, and all I can say is
Exactly.
this. He was supposed to come in, and I heard he was going to be better than Nico. He's going to be just great in this offense. So far, he hasn't been great. Now, he hasn't been in the system long. He had to come pick it all up. He has
And
to
that is a fair point.
He has to meet new guys. He has to get on the same page with the receivers. We'll get
Right.
into that in the next segment. I just don't think it's going as swimmingly as they would like. I don't think if Heupel had drawn it up, this is what we'd be talking about.
I think
and what
if
we'd
it
have.
was as going as swimmingly as they would like, they would be putting more out there about it.
But do you
I
think,
think
that they
Aguilar
want to
would be
keep it a
getting more
secret? Do you
snaps.
think that they want this narrative out there that it is a competition, but maybe behind closed doors
Yes.
it's not? I mean, you go to practice and they still are. I mean, Aguilar is still getting targets with the first stringers. Like they are mixing it.
Oh, they're
And you only,
mixing
see,
it
they're
all
still
up.
you
mixing
only
it.
see 4 minutes.
still
You only
mixing
see
it.
4 minutes.
I know that,
though.
yeah. I know
Are
that's
those 4
stupid.
minutes like the difference between an 8 and 9 win season?
To Will's
but the-
point, you're 20 days until you take on Syracuse. I understand there's a lot of people right now who are like, it's 20 days, it's Syracuse. You have ETSU, who's not going to give you a fair defensive competition, and September 13th against Georgia is around the corner.
I just love this.
A lot of people now are going to sit there and go, Syracuse, okay, one thing. Would you be as calm as you were right now if it was Georgia that Tennessee's playing the first game of the year? Because that's essentially what you're running into.
I have such a problem with this narrative, the Syracuse thing. I'm the only guy in town, apparently, who says, well, Jimmy Himes was on the same thing I am. I'm sorry, I lived through Georgia State. This team, with new everything on the offense, is not so good that it's just going to roll its helmet out and beat the hell out of Syracuse.
Brother.
Maybe they do, but I ain't buying it. So the idea that, okay, don't worry about that, but Georgia, and I know that's not what you're saying, but a lot of people are taking it that way that, well, look, I'm not worried about Syracuse. You should be. The longer this competition goes, the longer they're having to split reps 3 ways,
That's the thing.
the more dangerous Syracuse becomes.
This is my blown up ticket of Syracuse and the points, by the way, if you want to know what Vegas looks like right now.
Yeah, but I think you need to get Aguilar the work. You know the other two aren't ready. You think there's at least a chance he can get ready. So hand him as many reps as you
Exactly.
can. And I feel like some portion of this seems to be a little bit about team culture and morale that you're rolling Merklinger
Well,
and
look.
giving him first team reps he probably doesn't need to have.
Okay. But I just wonder if there's somebody else who needs first team reps, and we'll get to that a little later. Is George McIntyre
once again-
getting short shrift on this?
Merklinger at Appalachian, excuse me, Agar at Appalachian State wasn't that good. Everybody's acting like, man, this guy was something at Appalachian State. He wasn't that good.
You're right.
That's the reason UCLA kind of picked him up when nobody else, last year when the portal opens and people are getting $3 million and 2.5 and 4 and all nobody was coming after him. So people look at stuff that happened at Appalachian State against competition much less than what he's going to see in the SEC, and are acting like this guy was really something.
Well, I don't want to completely. I don't want to completely crap on him. Either,
No, I'm not going to
No.
completely crap on him. I'm just going to 95%.
Yeah, no, went
crap
there.
on
Yeah,
him.
think you're
I
right,
was just. But
98.
let me put it this way: the Athletic. You talked about this week. The Athletic put out a list of the transfers that created the most buzz. All right, so Nico's number 14. It's the top 100 guys. Joey Aguilar isn't in the top 100.
Right.
You know who was? Steve Angeli, who'll be at Syracuse, who
Correct.
Tennessee could have gone after, the Notre Dame guy. He made the list. Now, it's a list. Means nothing. Aside from the fact people looking at it go, yeah, Steve Angeli could be a story, before they're saying, watch out for Joey Aguilar. Again, I don't want to crap on Aguilar. He may have a fantastic year, but I don't like the fact you're 2 weeks in and you're still saying, well, let's split the reps. Somebody should have grabbed it. In terms of the team culture thing, we did the thing on Sports Source Digital Network about a month ago, ran it last week on the Saturday kickoff, as a matter of fact. Mike Stoll and Ollie Lane, 2 VFLs on there. I said, how do you sell this to a team? They said, well, you got to make it look like a real competition. Whether it is or isn't, you get Aguilar with the right guys. You make him look good because he's got the right guys around him. You split reps, that's fine, but everybody sees this guy win it. You can't just hand it to him, because when you just hand it to a guy, what you guys are calling for, just give it to Aguilar. That's what Fulmer did with Eric Ainge in 2005. That blew up in his face because Ainge had a bad year, later came back. I always have to come back, not bashing Ainge. He was great as a junior and senior, pro career. But his sophomore year was bad, and everybody in camp knew the other guy should have been the starter. It should have been Clausen. The team felt that. So you have to let the team see who wins it. My problem is the guy you wanted to win it isn't winning it. And the guy who's been on campus the longest isn't winning it. The guy who looks like he's got the most talent is the least ready, but I'm wondering, should he be moved up the list from what I'm hearing?